people like Offerpad have opportunity right now, because if you're only thinking about your commission
Right.
and not what's right for the consumers. This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 123 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
The word is up. Nicole, you were just saying before we started the show, you want the old cold intro back, the joking around, all the off the show stuff.
So I guess I could understand why we couldn't do that, because it didn't really feel all that natural to be Zooming with you. I have to be honest. So there wasn't really much back and forth, because it was like you were so worried about like your lighting.
Does the internet work?
Yes, and like I have lighting, you don't. Like there was a lot of drama around that. So
we did. Sam said this is the best lit show for The Real Word ever.
I feel like it deserves a medal then, from what I understand. But we just did. Okay, so you know what I think it is though too, Sam? We used to have a black table. We're now in this brown color, and before it was white, and I think the white was reflecting. I think we finally found our right podcasting table. So
we've done some adjusting here in the podcast room, which it'd be kind of cool to show everybody this podcast room, especially once we get everything finished up over there.
We should do that one day.
Yeah, we will.
We'll do like a behind the scenes thing.
But in the meantime, we've got 2 rackets and a Marketeer of the week. Racket number 1. Both of the first 2 rackets are Inman. All right, they're doing a Inman Connect right now. It's going on like right now.
Right now, I saw that. I keep on getting these emails like, Nicole, you've missed out, and I'm like, oh, what did I miss out on?
I think you were supposed to speak this morning, and then no. All right, first one from Inman. It's the Offerpad. We've talked about Offerpad in the past, and they're saying first Offerpad wanted to just buy your home. Now they want to list it. So agents, Offerpad is coming after your listings. Consumers can now choose a direct quick close sale like they were able to before, or a more traditional listing process. The move may rankle many in the real estate industry. No, rankle is a K.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is a
rankle. Like ankle. It's when somebody attacks your ankle. Rankle.
Did you just make that up?
I did. Who have long worried about technology companies moving into the space traditionally served by real estate agents. So here's the deal. If you take the cash offer with Offerpad, obviously you move quickly through that. You get an offer within 24 hours. You have no showings. You pick your closing day. Free move. They do the move for free. You like that?
Whatever that means.
Free move.
There's probably some really fine print there.
And then you can even do an extended stay. So you could stay in your home for a while. Anyways, if you list with Offerpad, here's what's interesting. You get to keep that cash offer in your pocket.
Oh, so if it doesn't work out with the agent, you can still...
So if it doesn't work out in the listing, you don't get your number, you can, or what they reference in here is the world dramatically changes. The next thing happens in our world that puts everybody into a tizzy, and you can now, I'll take the offer.
How long?
So it's always there.
How long? Does it say how long?
It appears that you have the cash offer in your pocket, list with confidence, knowing that you have the freedom to activate your competitive Offerpad cash purchase offer at any time. When they say at any time, I'm assuming they mean at any time while you're listed with Offerpad.
Okay.
So basically, as a seller now, if you do this,
you know your worst case scenario.
You know your worst case scenario, and you're always operating not from the true multiple offers, because you're not going to get highest and best. You already have their highest and best, Offerpad's cash offer, but you're always operating at multiple offer situations.
Can you say that?
The Offerpad's going to be your agent in that situation. So whether they would say that to buyer agents, it'd be completely misleading.
Wow.
But just from a seller's perspective of strength.
Okay, so I guess what you would know though is going into this, if you were going to an Offerpad listing, you would always know that there is another offer there. So you'd have to sort of educate yourself as the buyer's agent. You
got to educate the buyer. Like, listen, they have an offer, but it is their cash offer.
Which clearly blows because they're listed on the
They didn't take it the first time. They're out there looking for more. So don't be afraid of that offer out there.
So is it an Offerpad agent, or is Offerpad sort of doing like Zillow and grabbing another?
Nope.
So they're doing their own agent.
And here's where I think Offerpad, and Brian Baer is the CEO. We've talked about Offerpad. We've talked about Brian a little bit. I don't know Brian. I'd like to do a podcast with Brian someday.
He looks like a young fella too.
Looks like a younger guy. I
well,
read.
Actually, it looks like he went to picture day at school, doesn't he? Is it like the same background as like if you were in school?
He has a headshot in the article if you want to check it out. But here's what's interesting. So the listing fee will be, if you list with them, it's going to be between 5.5% and 6%. So they're going to do 6% listings, which in most markets, 6 is, either standard or maybe even above average, right? Potentially.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
I don't know.
I feel like we got to talk about bananas, 6 bananas.
6 bananas could be on the higher side. Well, let's just, for reference, Redfin was saying, hey, list with us. List with Redfin. We have employees that will list.
Oh, but their fees, remember their fees were almost 9-10% bananas.
No, that was when they were doing the home. But on just the listing, remember they were like as low as like 1%. It was crazy low, which is why the Redfin agents were really bad. Like, how does Redfin make money and then pay the agents? Like, have you ever met a Redfin agent? They're grossly gross. They're terrible at their job.
Oh, we're going there?
They're terrible. Redfin agents, I haven't met a good one yet.
I feel like...
Because they're getting paid no money.
No, but I did run into a Compass agent up here recently.
So they're not making the money the other agents. No, Compass, Redfin, totally different ends of the spectrum.
I know. I knew that there was a name that, yes.
But what I'm getting at is they're charging 6% according to Bear. The real estate advisors are licensed agents and they're Offerpad employees rather than independent contractors. So they have enough margin to in my opinion, looking at this, they're going to have enough margin to hire legit listing agents, a listing team.
Okay. Team, a listing team. I would call it a listing team. There's going to be a team.
They did. They referred to it as a Offerpad's listing team. Includes experts in real estate, renovation, and marketing, the company said.
Interesting.
It is interesting because if they're actually competitive with, you mentioned Compass, with the great Compass agent in your marketplace or the Sotheby's or like in our market, William Ravis,
they're going to have to be a team.
They're going to have to really be able to execute what is said here, renovation, marketing, and negotiation experience. Offerpad can afford to employ people that have those skills. And when you have an employee as opposed to an independent contractor, Offerpad now has a lot more control over the process, which means the experience for the consumer becomes very consistent. Agents, you should be worried about what Offerpad is implementing. You should never be worried about the Redfin model. I'm going to employ somebody and not pay them any money, and we're going to pass that savings along to the consumer. That's a discount broker. We've seen that for years.
Well, what's super interesting though is that one agent probably has, it's sort of like way back in the day when agents got, well, it's a little different, but similar. All like banks gave them all of the foreclosure properties. Like, and you have so many of them that you're not even responding to anybody because you just don't give a shit either. Where Redfin was such a small, I mean, those agents are probably being worked to the bone. They're never getting back to you. We're here if you have a team set up of this person's doing this, as like it
and they're paid accordingly to their expertise. This is interesting because the reason why companies like Offerpad are popping up, in Brian's words, there is a better way for people to buy and sell homes. He authentically believes there's a better way than using traditional real estate agents for consumers to buy and sell homes. Now they're charging the same rate. Now, if their experience is better, if that process is very consistent, you can line up 10 people in our town that use 10 different agents, and they're going to have a wildly different experience across the board.
Again, what's super interesting here is how long have we been talking about the fact that brokerages need to start offering out this instant offer, because what they're now doing is they now have a seller in hand because they're offering to buy this house for a certain amount. It's not exactly what they want, but instead of them walking away, they're now still getting them as a customer. They're still getting them as a client because, oh, you don't want this? Well, here's what we'll sell it for now on the open market with one of our real estate agents. So I mean, they're generating the lead. Why the flip wouldn't they figure out a way to do it traditionally like everybody else is?
Yeah, and Offerpad's kind of covering both of those solutions.
I feel like they need a better name though. I don't know that I'd have like an Offerpad.
Their listed option, free show ready home services. So we'll get your home ready, receive services that are free to perfect your home before going on the market. You have that cash offer in your pocket.
Yep.
You get a home improvement advance. Okay. A lot of companies have talked about this.
Yep,
right?
That's not anything proprietary.
You get this dedicated expert and support. That listing team, personal team is ready to help you through the whole process. I
like that. Maybe we should use that word in marketing. I like that you have your personal team.
A personal dedicated team.
Here's your personally dedicated listing team.
And certainly they're going to be able to, with the money, that the capital that Offerpad has, they're going to be able to show their value in terms of getting internet leads on your listing. That's how they got you in the first place to sign up for Offerpad.
But look, they launched yesterday.
Yeah, this one here, if I'm an agent, and they work with Keller Williams still, so they still have the partnership. They act as the capital behind Keller Williams' iBuyer business. Bear said that will continue even as Offerpad moves into now listing homes. This one's interesting. I've been saying it for years. You go back to any of my videos, I've been saying it for a long time. If somebody perfects the employee model of real estate agents, that's going to if somebody actually perfects it, makes it right.
And the consumer's experience.
Employees on average, not the top independent contract, not the top 10% of independent contractor real estate agents in the game, but on average, employees will beat out independent contractors consistently if they're paid what they're worth.
Right. Well, I think what's super interesting though is I'd love to know how long they've been working on this for, because I'm certain they're also seeing, and I guess I can only really speak to our area. I hate to say the whole country, but I mean, right now with inventory being so low, things are selling so quickly where a lot of sellers don't need that quick sale to somebody with cash just to get it off their docket, where it was smart for them to pivot. I mean, I think there's been a lot of pivoting. I think there's going to continue to be a lot of pivoting. I don't think we're done with pivoting. I mean, I think I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, it's a way for them not to lose a lead or just deal on a referral basis.
Forget it. Are you kidding me? My house used to be worth $2. Now it's worth $1 million. I mean, gosh, how many calls are you getting on that lately?
I think they're on to something, and it would only be a racket if we don't pay attention to it. So pay attention. Racket number 2, why buyer representation is critical in new home construction. You know what was odd about this, Nicole?
Please tell
me. They say here, it can happen to any agent. Your buyers visit a new construction site without you, and you lose out on the commission. So John Giffen, who wrote the article, he's an agent. He wrote it from that angle.
Yeah, the headline doesn't even match up with that.
It's odd. I thought it was going to come from the consumer angle, and that's the angle we're going to cover here. But if you want to read the article, it's linked up. He took the angle of a buyer that you're working with could go, and he even references Florida. This is the only state that really I have awareness of where this could happen a lot, because there's so many new construction communities where your buyer could just be interested. They have the sales office open a lot of times, Nicole, all day long. It'll be like 9 to 5 all day long, 7 days a week.
And I bet most of these these builders too have a in-house sale opposed to having obviously they haven't less or more.
Most of them have an in-house sales team. Some of them will use an agent and make them their in-house sales agent. So the buyer could go there, be wildly impressed. I went last year in Collier County, Florida, and I visited a Toll Brothers project because I see Toll Brothers every.
They do beautiful work though.
They do great work, national. And I just wanted to go see. I had never been to this community, and I like looking at stuff. So
you like looking at stuff.
I like looking at stuff.
You do?
You know, I do. Yeah, I like that kind of part of the game. So go to their sales office, and their sales office blew me away. So they had these tables that were all screens, so they could bring up. And you could just on the table flip through different floor plans and different layouts. They had probably 30 different style homes. I mean, these are big
communities,
800 plus home communities. You have, villas or townhomes, and then you have single family homes, and then you have really
and then
expensive
community
ones.
Pools, probably
community amenities,
schools,
you have all kinds of stuff built in there. But when you go to these sales offices, and like this Toll Brothers one, it is an experience. It is, I mean, they probably spent $500,000 on the sales office.
Well, and that was smart.
And it, it's like a separate building inside of the community. And so I can see why a buyer would go there. And it's not like, like here when you have a new construction, we live in these small towns in Connecticut. It might be a subdivision where there's like
3 homes.
Or
3 lots that are left because they couldn't sell them in the 90s when the original subdivision started.
Yeah, and
so that the amount of builders that have owned these lots over the last 10 years.
And so you have one house that's half done that you can walk through and look at the studs, where there you have 20 homes that are completely finished and walk through. But when you're going through the actual community, you're there's 80 homes being built right now. Are those going to be done? Oh, those are all sold.
Right.
Oh, those are all sold.
Yeah.
Those aren't available.
Yeah.
Oh, I got, so then you start as somebody visiting it for the first time, well, when did you start those?
Right.
Oh, 2 months ago.
Right.
So do I need to buy right now?
Right.
Can I go get my checkbook?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening, where they're getting so excited. They've got this wild experience. They're seeing activity. They're seeing construction happening, and they
know they got their shit together.
And they're buying on the spot.
Right. Why not?
And so now if you've been working with that buyer, this is the angle that John took in the article. If you've been working with that buyer as a buyer agent, you're out if you didn't have a buyer broker for him. So he gets into educating.
Yeah, it's just, that's not at all what the topic was.
That's not at all how you should be thinking as an agent. That's why people like Offerpad have opportunity right now, because if you're only thinking about your commission and not what's right for the consumer. So Nicole,
yes,
going back to the overall headline.
Yes.
If somebody's buying new construction, should they have their own buyer's agent, or should they deal direct with the listing agent or builder or in-house sales team?
I mean, I can answer this so many different ways. I feel like it's an asset to have an agent. So again, I'm talking about strictly.
And you've been negotiating a new construction unit.
Yeah.
Where there's communication from.
There's communication.
Is there communication from the buyer agent?
Everywhere.
On that one? There's communication from the builder, the developers. There's lots of communication happening.
There is so much communication.
Is there too many bosses?
It's happening on text. It's happening in emails. So, but I also am in the process of representing a buyer in the building process. We did not originally start looking at new construction, but obviously they felt comfortable enough with me that they wanted me to help them in the building process because they didn't have answers to questions. Obviously, buyers sometimes are timid to go directly, but I'm going to be 100% honest. Once you get into contract with the builder, that buyer is dealing directly with that builder. They are picking out their finishes. I'm not going there to help them pick out unless they want me to help them. But after
oftentimes that's how it's done, and that's how it should be done.
Yeah, there's so I mean, did they need me? They may have needed me to get there because they didn't know that they wanted new construction. I luckily know enough about building that I could at least oh no, that's a good cabinet. Oh no, that's a good finish. Oh, that's a good furnace. That's good light. They're a good builder to give them confidence in participating with that builder. But I mean, once that ink was dry, I mean, she is dealing directly with, if not the builder, then obviously somebody on his sales staff that is telling her or him, but in this situation, her, finishes, and you need to pick out this now, and you need to pick out this, and here's where you need to go. And I really didn't even know what the house looked like until yesterday when I walked through it. I was like, oh, good job with your siding,
So you were along for the ride? Is that what you're saying?
Well, but it was also a very long process. I think we went under contract in October. So, it's winter here, so there was only so many things that could happen.
And you did your job getting them into position to know that new construction was right for them.
We looked at homes for almost 4 months where it became so apparent that new construction was so necessary for them based on their needs, based on So, to get them there was certainly important.
Here's what I'll say, because I don't want to say, yes, you need a buyer agent, because not every buyer would need a buyer agent necessarily.
Right.
What you absolutely need to do if you're a buyer considering new construction is either through the buyer agent community or a buyer agent that you're working with or attorneys or people in the community. You need to do your homework on the builder.
Absolutely.
You need to make sure that builder has actually built has actually completed projects, has actually done the work they're claiming to do, and doesn't have a whole bunch of litigation from people that have gone through the process.
Or it's really nice that they show their face too. I mean, the last thing you want is like, oh no, sorry, like the builder can't meet, or no, the builder doesn't come out. I mean, show your face, show us who you are.
Can you have a conversation with the builder?
Right.
Are you allowed to have a conversation before you sign the contract with the builder? So do the homework, whether that's through any of those sources that I mentioned, number one. Number two, before you agree, because a lot of times if you're working with a buyer agent, you're working off of board forms for that area, and all the agents and the attorneys in that marketplace have agreed that those forms are accurate, and that's the way the business should be done right now.
Right. But
builders have their own forms. And so those have not been approved by the board. They haven't been approved by the attorney community. They've been approved by the builder's attorney for sure. Yeah. And they're protecting the builder. So you need to fully understand what you're getting into with the builder's contract. A lot of times, and builders should be doing this. So if you're a builder listening, you should be doing this if it's not in your contract. There should be an amount of money that is non-refundable, that if you change your mind halfway through the building process and that developer has bought all kinds of like crazy finishes that you picked out because you don't have any style, then they shouldn't be stuck with that stuff, right? Like, or your style is different than what's on trend, I should say. They should not be stuck with that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what's your answer?
My answer is...
Are you sort of wobbling like me?
Yeah, my answer is...
Educate yourself.
My answer is not... It's not critical, no.
No,
it's not critical.
But again, it's also not critical.
Sounds crazy.
Well, he's talking about it being critical in my mind for a buyer's representation. But I mean, if you're only worrying about your commissions, shame on you.
And the other part of that is too, like, you want as much, and most buyer agents are not going to be able to get you through this in the sense that, like, you want, like, if you go into
But if you signed a buyer broker, like, there's not even any question.
If you sign a buyer broker, you're good. And and that's where he got into,
that's where I'm not even understanding this.
They're talking about educating your...
Like, if you didn't have him sign a buyer broker, like, that's your own fault.
And some states are different, so not everybody can operate a buyer broker, but he's saying educate them before they walk through to let people know.
Well, right, because if they trust you, they want you to come with them because they're now relying on your expertise to help them.
And so my point is, you either need to work with a buyer that is really an expert in a buyer broker, that is really an expert in that community, and take your time to really get into as much inventory as possible. Like, understand if you're buying in, and I'll just use Florida again as an example, one of these big, large communities. If you're going to buy in there, why haven't you, as the buyer, and you're focused on new construction, good, but why haven't you looked at 20 resales in that community? Like, physically go in there and set the showing and look at the resales, and then look at all the comps of the resales, because most of these communities in Florida will start to have resales before they ever, I mean, we're talking 800, 1,000 homes, before they ever sell out the community. So you need to understand, what's that discount? What does the discount look like when I drive the car off the lot?
Right. It's interesting though, because I'm hearing you chat, and last year around this time I was doing the St. Jude house down in Texas, and they're down over there by A&M. They're doing the same thing, 600, but they're selling out quickly. But what's super interesting there though is, again, all about educating, especially if you're sort of moving to areas. There's a land developer that owns the land, and then there's builders that take
4 or 5 builders in the community,
right? So that the development never really falls off. Right. So like if a builder can't, so again, there's lots of different communities and lots of different ways of. There's
a lot of communities like that in Florida where phase 1 is builder X.
Oh yeah, no, this is, I mean, your neighbors are not the same builder. Yeah. So I mean, again, which is great too, because if you don't like that builder or what that builder is doing, like the lot right next door,
you have options.
Yes.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Marketeer of the week. I think this is his second Marketeer of the week. So we're really sucking up to the BA for some reason.
I feel like it's been more.
More than 2 now.
We did his book review.
That was a book review. That was a Marketeer.
Yeah.
We did something else from Marketeer. The Marketeer of the week is the broke agent.
Yay! You know what's really sad was that I was really planning on going to Anaheim in August.
Yeah.
and I'm not.
I don't
so
know if it's even
certain
gonna happen.
That's happening.
I don't know
So
if
it's
it's
like
happening.
now it'll be at.
But are you saying if it's not happening, you're out?
If it's not happening?
What if it's happening? Are you in?
Oh, I'd be in.
Oh, all right.
In my mind, it's not happening. Is anything happening? I mean, Disneyland isn't even open yet.
I don't know what's happening.
I mean,
all
anyway.
right. So the broke agent last week announced that he's officially launching a meme template platform. He is the king of real estate memes. He's partnered with Coffee Contracts to make this happen. The meme platform, which you sign up for, you pay a fee up front, and then you pay a monthly, like a $35 a month, something like that. It's somewhere in the 30 range.
Is it saying how many memes you get?
So there are already 65 plus meme style templates, lead gen Instagram stories, and some funny caption ideas for social. All of this completely customizable, where you can change up the wording in the photos, so you can pop in your photos. We're going to scroll some of those right now, and you put your branding on it. It won't have a huge broke agent watermark on it or nothing like that. It's all you. It's all your stuff. And this has been a big project of his, blah, 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 blah. But his punchline here is humor is the best form of marketing. And so these memes are very light and engaging.
Yeah, I mean they're not your traditional broke agent memes though.
Honey, stop the scrolling.
Yeah.
Boom, a nice photo of your listing and then the listing detail address below. I like this one. This is just a sample meme of just text, right? So you would post this as more of a branding play.
Well, we could copy that and put it into our own background.
We could copy this text.
We could do that.
Because
if you like it that much.
Because BA, you've been ripping off memes. That's how you built the broke agent account. Maybe we'll rip off your memes. But here's one. In my experience, you should never use the word promise in real estate. Having said that, I promise you will not regret using me as your real estate agent.
Don't steal that one.
Maybe do that at Valentine's Day. I don't know.
I don't know. That's.
I like this one. Buyer beware. Beware of how sick these new listing photos are. So that's like a good teaser.
Yeah.
Good teaser there. And so.
Well, what was interesting there is the buyer beware didn't match up with the photo, so it immediately makes you stop.
Yes. Yeah. It does. It makes you stop scrolling, which is cool. So the other part of this is there's 65 plus that are uploaded now. So when you sign in. But and by the way, there's no affiliate link in this video. Like we're not.
Oh, we're not
getting paid
supporting
for this.
You.
I'm not,
we're just commending you.
I'm not making any money out of this deal. But he'll also, because you're doing the monthly, he's going to every single month upload new original content.
Well, he better. Yeah. I mean, if I'm paying $35 a month, I'm not going to recycle the 65 memes you're using every week.
He's going to keep uploading new content. And so if you're an agent, and I've heard this from agents all the time, I just don't have the time to be posting on Instagram. This gives you an easy way, a clean look, and something that does have a little bit of humor.
Does he post for you too?
No.
Just templates.
You're taking the templates and you got to post. So I guess that's still, but the reason why people say they don't have time to post is they don't have time
because they overthink it.
Yeah. They don't have time to think of the creative. And so he's doing that for you. So
but then the copy, oh my goodness, you better start being a copywriter too, BA.
It's all about the copy.
It's all about the copy, honey.
It is.
All about the copy.
BA, job well done. We went a little long on this episode. I've got a call here. Keep it real. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.